Good morning. Good morning, The Hague. Welcome to another episode of the Good Place podcast series. As you can see, I'm wearing a jacket again. I'm back in The Hague for my travels. And we're just gonna hope that it's gonna stay put and dry. And, it's been raining around. But, as proper Good Place bench sitters, doesn't matter where we are. We would just cope it. I'm here, joined by Leah. Leah, let's see. She's from Germany, and actually, um, yeah, said hi on Instagram and said, "Hey, I heard you recently moved to The Hague." She's fresh. I want to hear everything about it. This is not just for people who've been here for ages or have been born here. It's also a place for fresh new citizens. And I'm curious to hear what brought her to The Hague. So I'm going to give the floor to you.
Okay.
And introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about you.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Leah. I'm almost 37 years old, and we moved to The Hague 6 weeks ago. My husband Oscar and our two dogs. We have two very old dogs. And I moved here for the weather, obviously. Today is another great day
Lucky
to be in
you.
The Hague. Yeah, I was so sad. It was sunny yesterday the whole day. I was very irritated. No, we actually moved. We moved abroad just to get a change of scenery, to experience new things, to get the work-life balance back. It was pretty out of whack where we lived before.
Okay.
We lived in Frankfurt I lived there for 6 years. My husband lived there for 4 years.
Okay.
So we had a long distance relationship for 2 years. Then we got married and then we moved in together. A different approach. And my husband was brought up all over the world because he's a missionary kid. So he always wanted to live abroad again. And I always wanted to live abroad, never did. Grew up in Berlin. Lived there for over 20 years,
Okay.
but never abroad. I never did like a Erasmus year or anything. I really wanted to. So when we met, it was clear to us that we're going to move abroad eventually.
Okay.
And in the end, in Frankfurt, I was very unhappy with my work, with my job. So we came here on a whim. We were thinking about, okay, where could we move? And I said I would like a city or country where we can go by train because we have the dogs and I didn't want to put them in an airplane. And then we thought, okay, France is amazing. And my husband said, okay, I will never learn French ever. This is not going to happen. So pick another country. Then we were thinking England. But with the Brexit, it's too tough to find work there or to be able to work.
Yeah.
And then last year for Easter break, we came to Leiden. And we really liked it. And then was like, okay, let's move to Leiden.
Okay.
And then last year in September, we started looking at apartments. And we said, okay, let's just try any city because it's really hard to get an apartment here, especially if you don't have a job here or if you have a dog or two dogs in our case. And I said, okay, I'll move anywhere in the Netherlands, but not The Hague because I really did like The Hague. And then we started looking.
You did not like The Hague.
No, I was here once and it was raining and I said, okay, anywhere but The Hague. And then we were looking for apartments for 2 months and I said, okay, Oscar, you know what? My feelings telling me we're going to end up in The Hague. And then we got an apartment here and we moved here and I love it. So.
I'm curious about that feeling. What was that feeling that you had in The Hague that made you so convinced?
That I don't want to move here
Or that you do want to move here eventually?
But my feeling was just telling me that we're going to end up here. If I like it or not, it was just the universe speaking to me.
The end of all options.
Yes.
Okay.
And I've only been here once and the weather was not amazing. And we had an awful hotel in a weird neighborhood and we were lazy. We didn't really go out. So we didn't really see much of The Hague. Mm-hmm. And I just had a better feeling in Amsterdam or whatever. But when we started looking at apartments, we actually went there to see them. And then I started getting a good feeling here because I looked at other neighborhoods and
Interesting how you end up in the Hague of all places.
Yes.
It's like you have to crash the entire Dutch market to finally end up in the Hague. Yeah. And just to follow through on that search, was it hard to find a place in The Hague?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning we looked in the entire Netherlands, maybe not entire, but a lot of cities.
Yeah.
And a big problem actually were the dogs.
Yeah.
We had some owners who said, I really wanted to give you the apartment, but I preferred someone without a dog. Although I always asked in the beginning, we have a dog, and I actually wrote CVs for the dogs to introduce them with pictures. And I mean, they're super old, they don't really do much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big problem, and I'm self-employed, and I'm only allowed to work in my profession in Germany.
Okay.
And my husband, he had job offers in every city because he's a teacher, so it was quite easy. But of course, we didn't really have something to show to the landlord that we are able to pay rent. So that was a struggle.
But where did you find a place, or how did you find a place eventually?
We actually only looked online at I don't know, we have something similar in Germany, and I've actually forgot the name. I think it was Parasius or something.
Yeah.
And I said to Oscar, okay, we just have to get a foot in, and maybe we only live in the apartment for a year, and then maybe you have co-workers, and they know someone who has an apartment. So we were not really picky.
Okay.
And in the end, we found such a beautiful place, and we hope that we don't have to move out in 2 years because it's only a lease for 2 years. But we'll see, maybe we can stay longer.
And they agreed to have dogs.
Yes.
Okay.
So if he asks you, have one dog.
Hey, let's not share this episode, you know? Otherwise you get kicked out. Yeah, I always still tend to say you can share as much as you want or as little as you like. But, okay. Shh, people, don't tell anyone. Leia has one dog. Wow, that's funny. Yeah, I also noticed that when we moved to The Hague, we didn't have a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we're looking around, and it's so often they say, no pets allowed, no pets allowed, which is a broad term, a pet. You're not allowed to keep hamsters or, birds. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, like, maybe we have to sell our dog first before. No, cannot.
I'll take him.
I'll take him. And well, my initial question always is, especially when people move to a city, is like, are you having a good time so far?
I'm having a great time because I only work remote. I'm finishing up my office, and so I have a lot of free time, and I go out a lot. I walk a lot. I go to the beach. I mean, nothing can beat the beach really, and I see my dogs enjoying themselves so much. And I met people already.
Okay.
That's weird for me because I was only working the last 6 years, and I was working alone basically.
Yeah.
So no coworkers, and I actually forgot how to make friends, I think.
Okay.
All my friends live in Berlin. So
Bit of a workaholic back then?
Yeah, very much so. I actually lived where I was working at my office in the house, and I was already also living there. And yeah, I'm just enjoying here my free time, walking around, getting to know everything, and yeah, it's been amazing. And I mean, of course, I love decorating the apartment, and I enjoy that very much.
Yeah, because that's also what struck me when when I came across your Instagram. They're very much interior focused. So you told me you were a lawyer, right?
Yep.
I would have not have guessed from your Instagram account. And of course, this conversation is very much about exterior.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's scoop into the interior part. Like, how important is it for you, and especially for creating a new home?
So having a home where I feel comfortable is super important to me because, like 1.5 years ago, my life took a bit of a turn. Everything got messed up, I would say.
Okay.
And my home and decorating it, making it my home, gave me like comfort because everything was out of balance. But this place was somewhere where I could relax and calm down and be happy and take my mind off of things. And especially when we moved, I mean, everything was out of balance because I don't know what I'm going to work
No.
from now on.
No.
And it's a new city, it's a new country. So I made sure that the home is ready quite quickly because I need that base. I need that space to be happy. It's like my fortress somehow. My husband, I'm driving him crazy.
He does live in the apartment as well.
Sometimes. Yes, he does. And I show him stuff that I really like and it's way too expensive and then he builds it for us, which
Oh,
is
really?
pretty amazing. So we have a lot of things at home that he actually made.
Okay.
And so he's part of the process. He doesn't really care that we have it, but the process of making it he enjoys very much. So he's a very he's a builder, he says now.
Okay. Wow. So he's also gonna go for a profession change.
Well, he can live his builder skills with the kids in the school. So
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he take requests?
yeah, once a year.
Once a year. Okay. Cool. It sounds it's funny, huh? It's seeing parallels in you change from a city to a new city, you change jobs, you know redecorate a new home. Feels like you completely start off blank with like a clean slate, as people say.
Yeah.
Does it feel that way as well?
Yes, it feels that way. I wasn't expecting it to feel that way. We didn't really think very long about moving here or moving abroad. We just sort of decided. Then, as good Germans as we are, we made a to-do list. And then we just checked it off and we figured out, okay, what we're going to have to do to get a BSN number and to be able to work and stuff. But now being here, it actually really feels like a fresh start, like a clean slate, as you said. And it's nice to start somewhere where no one knows you and no one knows your story or your history. And Frankfurt is a very small city. And I worked and lived in the inner city and had a lot of clients just showing up at my house, at my work, and where I live. And it's nice to not to have that anymore. I can just be Leah here and not Leah, can you help me? Or Leah, I have a problem. Because this is usually where people come to me because they have a problem. They want to have solved. So it's really nice not to have that anymore.
Almost sounds like a complete new Leah to me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you before that.
Just been born 6 weeks ago.
Okay, there you go. Plop. But yeah, I mean, this whole Frankfurt era also seems at a time where you maybe not connect as much with the city as you're connecting now with the city.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Which is weird because I was actually born in Frankfurt.
Okay.
But I only lived there for 6 years before we moved to Berlin. So I guess Berlin is sort of my hometown. And when I came back, it never felt right. I don't regret that I moved there because I learned a lot. And I mean, I've been self-employed for 6 years. After I finished university, I opened my own law firm. So that's something I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
But that's something I don't need. And I never really saw myself as a lawyer. It's still weird to say I'm a lawyer. It just, I didn't connect. It doesn't resonate with me that much. But I learned a lot and I guess I proved to myself that I can do it. I can be a lawyer.
Yeah.
But that's all I needed from that.
Yeah.
So now I can figure out what else is there for me to do.
It's interesting. So because that's the good place part where we talk about life more than only about place is you for a long time and you're working towards it because you have to study for it as well. You're longing for that kind of job or profession and you probably romanticize it in some ways. I think I've had that with advertising, as I told you, that you see you paint a picture and you're like, okay. And then you're in it and you're like, it maybe does not fit like the glove, as they say.
Well, I never wanted to be a lawyer in the first place.
Oh.
So when I finished school, I moved out from home when I was 16 and I worked my way through school. I didn't get any help. So I had a lot of jobs and when I was done, I was like, okay, maybe it would be nice if my father would pay the rent or something, but I knew if I wanted that, I would have to study. So I studied economics and they kicked me out in the first semester because I was really bad at math. I failed in school. I had like the worst grade you can have to pass. And after they kicked me out, I thought, okay, what can I do? Languages, biology, no way. I was not good enough for medicine or anything. So I started to study law because I thought they're going to kick me out eventually as well. But they never kicked me out. I just passed everything. I put no effort in it whatsoever.
Wow.
And I actually finished university in 2012. And then you have to do an internship for 2 years before you're done. And I did that for 3 months. Then I quit. And I worked at Starbucks full time for 2 years in Berlin at the Brandenburger Tor. And that was before minimum wage. It was
crowded.
I know, and I got like €7 per hour before tax. So I earned very little. And I did that for 2 years. Then I worked for the government for 4 years, acquiring like small pieces of land. And then I thought, okay, if I'm gonna have to do that for the next 40 years, I'm gonna jump out of a window. Not the first floor. And then I actually finished university. I did that internship and I finished it and I barely passed. And the only subject I passed in was criminal law.
Wow.
So I thought, okay, that must be a sign. I have to be a criminal defense attorney. So I became one. And if you want to do criminal defense, you have to be self-employed because otherwise there's going to be a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And because I had
Independent. Yeah.
yeah, and I still have, I have a brother, and he was also a lawyer in Frankfurt. So I joined him, and we shared an office, but we both had our own law firm. So that's how I ended up there.
Family business.
Yeah, a little, yeah.
Family affairs. Okay. Yeah, and so when did you realize this was not it? When do you get the second sign?
Pretty early on, I think, because I'm actually an introvert, hiding as an extrovert. But if you have to go to court and you have to be there, and I mean, I was actually pushed into the deep water as soon as I arrived, and I had clients who were on trial for a lot of drugs. So it was their freedom depending on my performance. And if you get sick every time you have to go to court, I could tell something is bothering me. And it actually, I mean, it got better a little bit, but I always, I felt such pressure to save them or to have like, to do something for them. And if it didn't work out sometimes, it's not the lawyer's fault if they've done something. But that put so much pressure on myself, and I thought, okay, this can't be right. This is not how I'm supposed to feel as a lawyer, like insecure and frightened.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah, so I got it pretty early on,
like
but
conflict.
yeah. But I also didn't want to give up. I wanted to get better and feel better about it. But after, I guess, 3 years, I knew I had to leave eventually, but it took me some time to actually go. So.
Wow. Check, done. Bye-bye. Time for a new course. But despite the fact you've been a workaholic and working hard, you somehow met your husband along the way.
Yeah.
In that time period. Yeah. So you only met one person in those 6 years.
No, actually, we met in Berlin 10 days before I moved.
Oh, wow.
So when we met, it was clear that I'm going to move. And we met on Tinder, as people do these days.
Not everyone.
I wish we had a different story. I have to come up with one at some point. And I was his first Tinder date. He was coming out of a relationship and he really wanted to date around. That worked quite well for him. He was not my first Tinder date. And I think we matched a few.
He knows all this, huh?
No. He's
okay.
It's my
reveal.
first Tinder.
This is like one big
You were my first Tinder date, I swear. No, we matched a few weeks earlier. But I went to Valencia. I had to visit I wanted to visit my friend. So we put the date off a little bit. And then I actually just wanted to have a beer with him because I know I was moving and he just wanted, well, you have to ask him. But
courtesy call, as they call it.
Yeah, and we kind of hit it off and we saw each other every day till I moved, and we said in the beginning, okay, long distance is not going to work out. You open your own company now, and yeah. But then I think one day before I left, he said, okay, I would like to visit you one day, and then he came the next weekend, and we saw each other every weekend.
Amazing.
In the 2 years.
No way.
Yeah. And
so he was in Berlin?
Yeah, the whole time. And he proposed after a little over a year.
Wow.
And then, we got married on
Well done, Oscar.
we got married on our second anniversary.
Oh,
so,
beautiful.
yeah.
Nice. Cool. With 2 dogs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I recently found out, like a year ago, that he's actually afraid of dogs. But he never told me. I mean, the one dog has like 4 teeth left. There's hardly anything he can do.
And they're so old that...
Yeah, the older one is actually a bit snappy.
Okay.
We got him from the shelter a year ago, and he doesn't like to be touched like abruptly, and he's gonna snap at you. And but he never told me before, so...
Crying himself asleep every night.
With the dog next to him.
Oh, wow. Well, you grow into it. Honestly, I mean, my partner wanted to have a dog. That is the reason why I have a dog.
Okay.
I'm definitely not a dog person. Everybody who knows me well will will agree to that. And you somehow grow into it. But you also accept the fact that you're not a dog person in some ways. You just make the best out of it. But I'm not afraid of him.
That's good.
That's one thing.
That's always a plus.
Yeah.
But if he would have told me in the beginning, I could never date a person that is not a dog person. So I'm glad that he hit that fact, because it usually doesn't really work.
Another surprise in life, huh? Which is something you cannot calculate. Cool. Bringing it back to The Hague again, your life here in The Hague. What is it you... I mean, of course, you mentioned the beach and so on, but was it hard or easy for you to adapt? I mean, I know it's only been 6 weeks, but what so far has been most surprising, and what did you like most?
I like, for me personally, it's a very relaxed atmosphere. I mean, of course, there are angry people riding their bikes, but in general, it's more relaxed than Germany, I have to say. And it's very easy to meet people here. For me, they seem very open, and you get to... I talk to people on the street. You talk about the dogs, and then I actually exchanged numbers with a few people, and we met for coffee.
Nice.
I really want to learn Dutch though, because I feel that's something you should do when you move abroad. Also, a different way to connect with people.
Yeah.
And just the day-to-day life. It's also, I don't know if it's only The Hague or also all the other changes that I've been making. But I feel happier. It sounds so generic, but I'm happy when I wake up, and it's actually occurring to people that know me, and they say, hey, you seem so much happier and more relaxed, and that's a good confirmation that I'm sure we did the right thing. It was a good move.
Yeah, you're taking off the weights of your shoulders of certain things. Yeah, it's nice when you find that sweet spot as well. And sometimes you also embrace the fact that you don't know what is going to be next, work-wise and so on.
Yeah.
You know, work at Starbucks here?
I actually checked. I wanted to relive that memory. I actually had a great time working at Starbucks, I have to admit. I mean, it drove me crazy, but I would do it again.
Okay.
I'm older now and more calm. No, but they want you to speak Dutch. So after I finish my course, I might serve you a frappuccino one day.
Yeah, I don't go
But
to Starbucks.
do people go to Starbucks here though,
I
or is it
don't.
only tourists?
I think so. I'm not gonna say something not nice. Probably the coffee lovers don't go to Starbucks.
Yeah, obviously.
The ones that love the flipped caramel, whatever, fluffing, topping, whatever, they go to Starbucks.
So the sugar lovers.
I think so.
Yeah.
Those who are in need of a sugar rush, they go to Starbucks. Yeah. I can recommend other places.
I've been to a few. I mean, obviously, I'm drinking coffee the whole day because I have nothing else to do. But I have to say, this whole fancy schmancy coffee thing and we make you a drip coffee and you wait 35 minutes. I don't have the delicate palate to actually taste all the flavors that they tell me that it's in the bean.
You're like, it's Colombian. No, it's not. It's Ethiopian.
Yeah, and it's fruity and you taste grape, and I don't do that. I don't taste. It's the same with wine. I can tell you if it's tasty or not, but I will not taste anything else.
No, I'm the same.
And I don't want to pay €6 for that. I'm a cheap guy, so.
I don't think Starbucks comes in cheap nowadays.
No. But if you work there, you don't have to pay for it.
That's true. Benefits.
That's the benefit, because they pay you like crap.
The benefits, yeah. Yeah. So I'm curious where you end up, work-wise.
Yeah, me too.
Do you have ideas?
Not really. I actually don't.
Okay. Interesting.
So I think in the beginning I would like to have a job actually in a cafe or a restaurant, just to
meet more people.
Yes, to be surrounded by people, to get better at the language.
Yep.
And I mean, even as a lawyer, I could tell that the part I enjoyed most was listening to the people, helping them on a psychological level. So I don't want to say that I'm going to be a coach or something, but it might go in that direction. So, and when I was younger, I used to be very creative. I was very much into photography and painting and ceramics and stuff. And now that the pressure's gone, I'm just curious to see what's going to emerge from that, what is left of that. But I think the coaching area might be something I want to pursue. So we'll see.
Cool. Did you know we're also part of the same photography group?
Yeah.
We need to do a photo walk soon. I haven't been in ages.
The people on the street, they were either very curious if it's like a guided tour and they wanted to join.
And pay for it.
And pay for it. We have to talk to Bastian about that. And the other people, because a lot of them were taking pictures of people.
Yeah.
They were kind of like, oh my God, 12 people are taking pictures of me now. So you had either this or that. But it was lots of fun.
With the paparazzi.
Yeah. So they started taking pictures of us, taking pictures of them, which was very nice.
That's hilarious. But I mean, searching for these kind of groups is cool.
Yeah.
Because that really, even coming from Amsterdam, you always look for these kind of communities to meet new people.
Yeah.
And I think it's really nice to connect.
Yeah, and it's a great group, I have to say. I mean, there was one woman, she joined very late, but we met up since then a few times.
Okay.
I went to a house party and went out for
really?
coffee, and I met other people at her party that she didn't even know because someone brought them along.
Awesome.
And that was, I mean, it took me very much out of my comfort zone to join that group for the photo walk because, as I said, I'm an introvert. It was very overwhelming, but I got so much out of it. So it showed me again that it's good to push yourself because otherwise nothing's gonna change. Yeah. And even moving abroad, although it felt quite easy, when I look back, it was a big push. It's a lot to give up, but
so much to win or gain.
Yes, and you don't really have anything to lose. If it doesn't work out, you go back. I can always go back to Germany, work as a lawyer if I have to or if I want to. Yeah. But it's so much to gain if you push yourself. Yeah. So that was the biggest thing for me. I mean, for my husband, it was very easy because he lived abroad his whole life. He just continued working as a teacher, and he's happy. So that's good.
Will he be the one that in a few years says we need to move again?
He might. Because the school he's working for, they have schools all over the world, and he wants to do his master's now. And he said, maybe we can move to Mexico City. They have a school there. And I told him, I move anywhere with you after the dogs are dead. Because, I mean, they're happy here and all, but it's a big change for dogs that old. So I would like to stay here a little bit, enjoy myself, but it wouldn't surprise me if he'll turn around one day and said, I would like to move to a warmer country, maybe.
I could not disagree. Leah, are you in a good place?
I'm in a very good place.
Super. That's great to hear.
If you had asked me that, like, even 5 weeks ago, I would have said, I'm not sure, everything's so new, but it's still very new and exciting, but I feel a little home already, which is a feeling I was longing for a long time. And I always said, "Oh, Oscar, you're my home now," and that's romantic and all. But I actually feel home here, which is a great feeling.
Yeah, you cannot just stay at home and lock your doors and say, "This is home." Yeah, there's yeah. We all live in our bubbles in some ways,
Yes.
but yeah, it's good to get out there for sure. Uh, I'm also gonna say thank you because some people, when I approached them and they just recently moved, they said, "I need some more time to settle in," and you were quite, despite the fact that it's only been 6 weeks, you were like, "Yeah, let's do this."
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I'm surprising myself, which is also nice. I mean, I'm not old, but I'm almost 37. And I thought I knew a lot about myself, and I might do, but there's also so much I don't know about myself yet. And it's fun to keep finding that out.
Yeah.
And although, I mean, Oscar's working the whole day and I'm alone a lot, but I don't feel alone. And it's really nice to experience things. And yeah.
Nice.
Very glad the universe picked this place for us, or the landlord did.
Yeah, could be. And I don't know, like also that's the way we connect, you know. And also in that sense, that how we meet now is also something. There's nothing to lose in that sense. And yeah, I think it's also nice to maybe sometimes think about these things because you get these questions. We're always in our heads to think about. Is this? That's how I started this channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's your reason that you moved, and what are my reasons, and this has been a good decision or not? And we're not always sure about things, but it's nice to, yeah, meet like-minded people, and then you're like, yeah, everybody's taking a leap,
Yeah.
and you know, we'll see what comes from it.
And I think a lot of people would like to take a leap, and
Yeah.
everyone we told that we're going to move, or we're going to move to the Netherlands, they said, if I didn't have kids, I would.
Yeah.
And I'm so jealous that you're doing it. I will only do it once I'm done with work, when you're like 70.
Yeah.
And we always said, okay, I hate if I say we two people. We don't like wine. No, it's I thought, okay, why wait? For what? For being too old and maybe have a good pension? You never know. That probably not. So why
You
wait?
make it that far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. I couldn't, and I didn't want to keep working like that and have just my work seep into my day-to-day life. Imagine you have coffee with your partner on a Sunday and you got cake, and then the doorbell rings and some drug dealer says, "Okay, someone got arrested. Can you please find him?" I was like, "This is not me. I
Oh,
want to have
wow.
my cake in peace."
Yeah. Yeah, that's scary stuff. Yeah, I imagine. But I mean, I think it's also people are somehow sometimes stuck in a system to break out from.
I think a lot of people, maybe most people, are stuck in an external and an internal system
Yeah.
because we are programmed
Yeah.
a certain way. We know that we go to school, we finish school, we find a job, we earn money, we build a house, we plant a tree, we have a kid, and then what?
Yeah.
So and then the society expects certain things from you, and
Like a pre-programmed structure or system
yeah.
that you need to follow on.
Yeah, and I think if it wasn't for Oscar, I don't know if I would have broken out of that structure that easily, because he made it seem so easy to me, because he said I experienced it a lot of times and it's not a problem. Nothing's gonna happen, and for that I'm very grateful. And when you break that circle a little bit, you see that almost everyone's trapped in that as well.
Yeah. I think people should not underestimate the fact that if you are together with someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, that's your comfort to take that leap.
Yeah.
Even, I think you feel stronger to take the leap. Then.
Of course, it's easier to do it with someone because you have the emotional support or maybe the financial support.
Yeah.
And my sister, she said, "Oh, I would love to do that too, but I don't have a partner, so I don't want to do it alone." And I can understand that because it's easier if you.
Yeah, or she has to come live next to you.
Can we cut that off, please? She's very happy in Berlin.
No ideas. Sorry for the inspiration. Leah, we're actually at the end of the episode. Time flies when you're having fun. This is a
Yeah.
good proven part. We can continue this conversation. You guys can't. But please follow and subscribe our channels, please. Hit the little star in Spotify so we get a good ranking. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube so we get more followers and more reach. And Leah's episode gets more seen. I had a great time. I'm happy we connected over this episode. I always like to end with giving you the floor, saying maybe there's something you'd like to share. Doesn't have to be something, I don't know, super groundbreaking, but maybe to have the fellow bench sitter close off the episode instead of me.
Really?
You don't have to. You can also say bye.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, and this is the thing. It's a common phrase that I like put people on the spot at the end. If you have something, if not, then I'm gonna close off. But I like to give you the opportunity. I'm gonna say thank you to everyone watching. It's been amazing. It's been quite okay, right? Weather-wise, not soaked.
I was very surprised you're not wearing a hat, but I guess that goes
Me?
against it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the Netherlands.
I've been living in this hat for 6 weeks. I haven't taken it off since.
All right. Didn't smell anything. That's
Good.
okay.
Good.
Okay. You got something to share?
My wisdom, you mean?
Anything?
No, I actually just wanted to thank you for meeting me and talking to me, and through the conversation reminding me how I feel, because this is not something you ask yourself daily. I mean, I don't ask myself that daily, so thank you for raising these questions and making me feel that I have done the right decision. So thank you.
You have done great. Have made a great decision, and The Hague is happy to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Okay. Talk soon on the beach, I think, with our doggies and our partners. See
good.
play date.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
All right. Guys, enjoy the rain. Bye bye.